Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michael, and this is another exciting episode of my carb-legal LS3 wagon swap project. In today's episode, we are down here in Oceanside, California at Magnaflow HQ because we are putting on a brand new Universal xMod exhaust system. All right, inside the building here, wearing my OSHA safety glasses and so forth. Everything is going along really well. I'm super impressed so far. It's just incredible. It's like artistry, you know, and science mixed together. Art, science, science and arts. Both? I don't know. And it's just beautiful, beautiful. I'm trying not to get in Jose's way. He's the genius that's doing all this work. It's amazing.
My name is José. I've been with Magnaflow for 19 years, and I'm a fabricator.
All right, guys, so the first thing to note about the exhaust system that Magnaflow is installing today is that they don't actually sell a kit for B-bodies for, you know, the Impala SS and the Roadmaster and the Caprice and so forth. So what they've done here is that they're using the Magnaflow Universal Builder kits. This is basically 2.5-inch piping. They've got an X pipe, and this is all being custom installed to fit exactly where they think it needs to go. And then, of course, here are the Universal xMod mufflers. What is an xMod muffler? Well, let's go over to the box here. So this is the box that it comes in. This was first developed for specific vehicles like the Mustang and Camaro and Corvette and Challenger and all that sort of stuff. And the idea here is really about this no drone technology. So the way the no drone technology works is that this is actually a straight through pipe that goes straight along here. Right, that's the standard part of the muffler that you see on many Magnaflows, straight through with holes, and there's some sound deadening material packed into this area here. And so what the xMod system does is that it adds this fork in the pipe that sends sound pulses down this way out into this J-bend and into this noise kind of cancellation chamber right here. The idea is that sound pulses go in here and reflect back out and cancel drone when you're driving on the highway. And so what's neat about the xMod system is that you actually get a bunch of different pipe options for this section here. This is the full setup right here with the full kind of J-pipe and with this big chamber here. In addition to this full kind of full quiet mode right here, you can also put this smaller diameter pipe on the end of this right here. You can also just put this right here at the end to cancel out the noise, or you can put this kind of larger chamber resonator cancellation situation on the back here as well. Or if you want the full maximum effect, you can put the straight through dump here as well. So there's basically like 5 or 6 different configurations that you can do with this. And you can also cut this pipe to different lengths to find the exact frequency that would be droning in your particular vehicle. And again, this is a universal system. This is the 2.5 version. There's also a 3-inch version. The great thing about this, they're gonna make this serviceable actually. So if, you know, we have to remove the drive shaft, service the transmission, do all those types of things. We're doing clamps here, here. There'll be a clamp right here on both sides of the muffler. And then I assume there's gonna be a clamp right here. And then we're gonna go out right here behind the tire. I'll have to figure out some type of heat shielding. Oh, pardon me, Jose.
What angle are you looking for? Angle or more like that?
Yeah, straight out is fine, or kind of the classic muscle car, like downward is fine too. You know, what do you think would look best?
To me, I like the kind of like angle this way. Like
like almost like a G-body type deal? Yeah, go for it, man. Your choice. Oh my God, he's so amazing. All right, now while the fabrication and installation work is taking place, we're gonna go take a full tour of the Magnaflow development, production, and shipping facilities. Let's check that out.
I'm Rich Wadis, the Senior Manager here at Magnaflow, and today I'm the spokesman that's going to take you guys on a ride on what exactly Magnaflow is all about.
Touring the Magnaflow campus with Richard was beyond illuminating. Magnaflow produces and ships 2 million products per year, all made and assembled in the USA. Whether it's a one-off custom system or something for mass production, typically everything starts here in the Magnaflow Research and Development Center, where you see my humble Roadmaster sitting next to one of Kevin Hart's incredible resto mods. For mass production, the process typically starts when Magnaflow brings a vehicle here into the center and they scan it into 3D space. Engineers are then able to create a new part inside a computer and already know it fits inside inside the OEM space. For a custom build like the Wagon, Jose is going more old school, using universal builder parts to piece together sections of the exhaust into the exact shapes he wants. But instead of welding those together, he ends up scanning the whole piece into a computer so it can be cut and bent exactly to the shape and size that he wants with a CNC machine. It's honestly one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
It's like artistry, and science mixed together. Art, science and arts. Both? I don't know.
Now, during this whole research and development process, Magnaflow is making prototypes, and they're testing for things like sound quality, horsepower improvements, drone, and/or emissions compliance. When a product is going to be mass-produced, Magnaflow uses the initial prototype to help create what's called a fixture. Think of that as essentially a three-dimensional template that they can use to ensure production lines are making everything to spec. The production lines themselves are a mixture of old-school human assembly lines in a variety of computer-automated processes that are, of course, set up and maintained by human operators. So what gives Magnaflow mufflers their specific tone and sound? I'd argue it's two main components: perforations and packing material.
This is literally the muffling.
Correct.
Wow.
Most Magnaflow mufflers feature some sort of straight-through tubing that's perforated with hundreds of little holes. The total number, diameter, and spacing of these perforations is how they tune each and every muffler. As for the actual muffling, Magnaflow uses, I kid you not, melted lava rock that's spun into a fabric that looks like cotton candy or insulation. Oh, and for those who like to do muffler deletes in search of more power, check this out. Richard took me over to a flow bench and demonstrated how Magnaflow mufflers with their uniform perforations actually increase airflow over a standard section of solid straight-through piping.
Ultimately, just the quick and simple is don't just assume that if you're putting a muffler on that you're actually hurting airflow.
At the end of the day, Magnaflow isn't the only company dedicated to precision, quality, and performance. But having seen how everything is put together there, it's one heck of an impressive operation. And I'm genuinely humbled to have them helping out on this wagon build. So huge thanks to Rich and Jose and everybody who helped us out that day.
Obviously not quite done. Get the exhaust on it, and then I'm gonna
be getting enough to establish it's an LS motor.
It is a real LS motor, not a conspiracy theory LS motor. Make sure it's still running. Yep. Are you ready, Jose, for the magic? Jose's genius come to life.
Tell me when.
Go for it. Flash forward here into the future. I have to admit something. When I first heard the car start up, go for it. It was super quiet, which is something that Magnaflow warned me about because, again, with the E-Rod system, we've got 4 catalytic converters, two on each pipe, then a full muffler, and then I drove home from Magnaflow to my house, and as I was driving, I got up to about 65, 70 miles an hour, and it still had drone. And I don't really love the way it sounds because it's super quiet. Full sleeper status achieved. To be honest, I was kind of freaking out. So I decided just to let the system break in a little bit, drive it around, get to know it, and then start using the custom options with the J pipes, the different length, to see if I could set it up to a tone that would work well for me. I also talked to Magnaflow about the drone, and what they said basically is that with the way that the quarter wave noise canceling works with those J pipes is that you have to change the length of the J pipe to find the tones that your particular system is producing to cancel them back out. Other thing that I was really dealing with, right at tip in, the whole car would kind of have a resonance. So basically all the vibrations of the engine and transmission were being put into the body, and then the exhaust system was solid all the way back, directly from the engine to the cats, to the X pipe, to the mufflers. There was no break, nothing to isolate the system. So it caused NVH, and even though the xMod system did a nice job of getting rid of most of the drone around town, cruising on the highway in 4th gear with the 4L65, the drone started coming at a speed that I would typically like to cruise at. All of these complications come from the fact that this is a custom build. Roadmasters are 19 feet of steel, plastic, in glass. Also, apparently, LS3 motors, it is a real LS motor, not a conspiracy theory LS motor, are prone to drone all by themselves. So we've got drone meets drone. And then I met a man named Brian Corsetti, who owns a company called Corsetti Cruisers here in Los Angeles. He installs the LS3 E-Rods into Land Cruisers, I think the 60s, 70s, and 80s models. They're beautiful, beautiful cars. And he works with a guy named Luis at 3C Performance in Los Angeles. And this guy does amazing, amazing work. And he also makes it so that Brian's Land Cruisers have no drone. And so after talking to Brian, after talking to Luis, and after talking to Magnaflow again, I put together a plan, which was basically right after the catalytic converters, I wanted to have what's called flex joints. That's gonna isolate some of the vibration that's coming from the engine. And then we're gonna put these noise canceling, they look like cans almost, these chambers that do the same thing as the J-pipes on the mufflers. But what Magnaflow says is that the further forward in a system that you have noise canceling or you have drone reduction, the better it's going to be, because it has to do less work. And the last thing, Luis installed an active valve on the Universal xMod mufflers. So basically, we have the normal quiet pipes, which you can see here, and instead of the J-pipes, we remove those, and we just have dumps with active valves that I can press with a button, so I can have a quiet mode, and I can have a more aggressive mode. Let's cut to the sound clips. We'll do some revs, we'll do some flybys in both the quiet and now in the more aggressive mode. Give it a listen. America, baby. Woo!
Just the sound is just so pure.
Yeah, it's a mellow tone.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't think that's illegal. I don't even think that hits 100 decibels, you know what I mean? At full.
Illegal at all.
No, so it's like, got a muscle car 5, mellow tone, it's legal, and no drone on the highway. We'll close the windows once we do this next pull.
Oh, yes. Woo! Oh my God.
All right, so here, check this out. So all the windows up. We're now driving in the car. The exhaust is still full open, so this is the louder of the two modes.
Rather quiet.
And there's a touch of noise there. But yeah, the wind is louder than the exhaust is.
What gear are you in?
4th.
Okay.
So, and then I'll close it. And I can't even tell the difference, to be honest. Wrapping up our time here with Magnaflow and the Universal xMod muffler system. Overall, I'm really, really stoked with this system. Magnaflow components are really high-end and really terrific. The Builder series, these Universal xMod mufflers, everything's well made and stainless, really high-end, really high quality. No drone, quiet on the highways, and I get a lot of rumble and growl as I'm accelerating and really getting into it. It's kind of a perfect system for my needs. What about you? What would you do differently if this was your build? Do you like a deeper, throatier growl? Do you go for stuff like Hooker or Flowmaster from our friends at Holley? Let me know down in the comments below or over on ls1tech.com in our forum threads. As for the mufflers themselves, I would recommend them more for installing on an OEM system. So you've got a sports car or a truck or something like that, and you're gonna put this muffler into a system that already has NVH reduction and drone reduction all by itself, or in a custom system like we have here, where we put the drone canceling cans up towards the front of the system. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I wouldn't necessarily use these mufflers to cancel drone all by themselves. Instead, I would recommend using them just to enjoy the tone of either the louder or quiet exit exhaust, in this case with the active valves. I think that's kind of best of both worlds and perfect for a custom application like mine. And again, huge thank you to Magnaflow, huge thanks to Luis at 3C Performance. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week, we are going to begin sorting out things.
Remember to do the crankler.
So after you do an install and we've done the break-in miles and we've got the exhaust on, it's now time to chase little gremlins. We got to get it smogged. We're going to do that as well and almost conclude the build. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all are well and safe, and we will see you on the next video. Here we go. Quiet.
That was quiet mode.
That was quiet mode.
That was really quiet. Oh,
Okay.
look, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
It's
It roars.
it's pretty great.